Hi everybody, welcome back to Keeping It Keilan. Today, I'll be sharing a presentation I made for one of my college classes regarding my personal brand and artistry, with a spotlight on my recently published poetry book and how it came to fruition. Alright, let's begin. KM Productions, my personal brand and artistic portfolio. So we'll start with Chasing Dragons. It's my latest creation. My newly self-published book, Chasing Dragons, Thoughts of a Young Artist, is a collection of poems I wrote in 2019 and 2020. On October 31st, I publicly released it on Amazon, and I'll be sharing today some insights into the self-publishing process. Alright, let's talk about the pricing. The ebook costs $5.19. My royalty rate is 70%. So that means that I get $3.48 per ebook sale. The paperback costs $8.99. My royalty rate is 40%, so I get $2.56 per paperback sale. So I actually make more from ebook sales because Amazon doesn't have to take money for the printing and shipping and whatnot. It's $5.19. I got that price because it was the recommended ebook price that historically generates the highest profit for authors. $8.99 was a price that I determined for myself after scrolling through similar poetry books that were selling well on Amazon. So I literally did just search poetry book or, deep poetry books written by young people, whatever. And the top 10 books, all kind of were in the $8.99, $9.99 range. And so I settled on $8.99 for the price. All right, so since this was published on Amazon, let's talk a little bit about the mechanics of Amazon publishing. The coolest thing about Amazon is that you can publish a book for free while retaining complete ownership of your book rights. In other words, when publishing on Amazon, and that's Kindle Direct Publishing is the name of their service, you never have to give them anything. Their service is completely free, no strings attached. The downside of self-publishing, rather than going through an actual publisher, is that you have to be your own marketing team and publicist. It is your job to promote your book. Amazon is not like a social media platform where you can grow your following. The following typically comes from an outside source. However, the more books you sell, the more Amazon will put a spotlight on your content. Another benefit of Kindle Direct Publishing is complete customization of your book. The decisions you make will alter the price, but you get to totally control the book's appearance. I personally chose 6x9 for the dimensions, cream for the page color, and black and white because I had no color illustrations. Kindle Direct Publishing just prompts you to upload one PDF for the covers and one PDF for the content. However you choose to design those is entirely your choice. So here's the book right here. Pretty cool. Something else cool about Amazon is that you can edit the book's content at any time. I personally noticed a typo after reading my print copy, so I fixed it, and now all the books printed henceforth will not have that typo. And that typo was embarrassingly on the back cover. So if you were one of the first 9 people to order a book, then you have a pretty rare misprinted edition. Basically, my final word of advice regarding Amazon self-publishing is this. You have nothing to lose. If you have a collection of photos, short stories, poems, artwork, or even a full novel, you can turn it into a professionally bound book for free, which could be discovered and become popular at any moment. And the worst that can happen is you don't sell that many copies, but you still buy some awesome books for you and your family and friends. So as for the design, I used Adobe InDesign to lay out my book. And so it was a bit confusing at first, but after I got over those aspects of the software in the beginning, it became very user-friendly. Initially, I tried using Pages, which is the Apple native book layout software, and it's actually recommended by KDP, but I ran into some major bugs halfway through that, and that led me to switch to InDesign. There are countless softwares where you can create a PDF. Even Google Docs would work, but the more freedom to customize, the better, which is why I believe InDesign is the best option. And these illustrations you see on the slide here were some, pulled from the book that were done by my dad and my girlfriend, Camille Curtis, both of whom are very talented artists. My cousin, Ellie Morrissey, also did a little bit of art. She did one portrait of me. And so I'm very grateful and thankful for the very talented artists who put a lot of time and effort into making this book what it is. As for marketing, I have released 8 poem videos as part of my marketing plan. They're on YouTube, Instagram, and Vero. And at the end of each video, viewers are directed to the Amazon page where they can buy the book. This is a simple and entertaining technique to keep the buzz alive, hence why it is used by so many musical artists. An artist will come out with an album, and then months later, they'll still be making music videos from that album. And so that's just another way to create more content off of the same piece of art and get people, drawn back to it. So I've already shared the book link with like anyone and everyone who might be interested in buying it. Friends, family members, teachers, random people that I vaguely know. Many people won't make a purchase, but it never hurts to try. So far I've made 14 sales in my first 7 days. Now, this is an older presentation, so I've made more sales since then. But yeah, that's still pretty cool. 14 sales in my first 7 days, not too bad. I will also be reaching out to some local retailers and libraries, have not done that yet, to see if I can arrange some deals. Having a book in an actual bookstore isn't always the most cost-friendly choice at first for a young writer like myself who doesn't have any name recognition, but it does give shoppers a chance to actually flip through the product, which increases your name recognition. Plus, marketing the book, for me, calling it by a local St. Louis author, that's a great way to draw attention because people in St. Louis like to buy things from other people in St. Louis. So basically, I plan to promote the book in any fashion that I can. And if you have a product like that, you should. Try to get it out there as much as possible. So to step away from the business side of things, why did I make Chasing Dragons? Poetry is, in my opinion, an extremely freeing form of writing. Poets are allowed to break any conventions they please. A poem can be detailed and vivid, or it can be completely cryptic. And I love that level of freedom when it comes to writing. Billy Collins, a famous poet, said that poetry is the only record we have of the history of the human soul. So ultimately, I wrote Chasing Dragons as a time capsule of my soul at this point in time. My emotions, experiences, memories, and thoughts as an 18-year-old in 2020. My friend George, who read the entire book and gave me feedback before publication, said all of my poems fell into one of these categories: family, love, nature, art, adventure, and the world. When he told me this, I began reflecting on the reasons I make art, which is why I'd like to ask all of you, why do you make art? So this was where I then initiated a discussion with my college class. But to those of you watching this YouTube video, why do you make art? Is it to entertain and inspire others, to express and improve yourself, to create a career for yourself, to spark social change, a combination of these, a reason you can't name, or something totally different? And if you're watching this and you're not an artist of any kind, would you consider making art for one of these reasons, and which one? So let me know in the comments what you think about that. Sorry about that, I had some dry lips. So my reasons for making art. I personally make art for all the reasons listed. I definitely want to evoke emotions in every person who consumes my work. Art is also a release of emotions for me personally, and it's a coping mechanism for many aspects of life. I certainly want to make a career doing what I love, so the profitability of my art is always in the back of my mind, and the messages contained within my art are ones that I hope will impact the world in positive ways. So what else have I made, and what else can I hopefully teach you? And here's where we get into KM Productions. My personal brand, KM Productions, is the accumulation of all my work. Stories, films, comics, art, etc. It can all be found on Keilan.com, the home of KM Productions. I decided a few years back that having a unified brand identity would help me in the long run, so all of my creations are labeled as part of KM Productions. When producing a variety of types of art, it's best to create some commonality amongst everything. Hence why this is my brand. Got my KM Productions shirt on right now, actually. You can buy those on my store, Keilan.com/shop or /store. I don't remember, but you should buy a shirt. So here are some films I have made. These are my biggest productions. I've made four mystery projects. I've made Colorless, which was a holiday film, Right Away, which was my most recent feature-length movie, Heaven, which is this crazy movie I made in front of a green screen during quarantine, where I play I think 20 or so characters. I also recently made a film called The Anti-Human, which I hope everybody checks out. That one's pretty cool. But these right here are some of my biggest productions, and so yeah. Short films. I have made a lot of short films. These are smaller productions. These are things that a lot of them I just filmed in one single day. Those last 5 are all horror series that I made a while back. Those are some of my earliest work. But ultimately, I'm happy and proud to present and share all these short films. Some of them are funny, some of them are existential, some of them are just starring me, some of them have a lot of people in them. But I have quite a catalog of short films, which can all be found on YouTube and Keilan.com, just like all my work. I've also made a bunch of fan films. I've technically I have made 99 DC Comics fan films, but these right here are the best ones. And these are the ones that are kind of in the current storyline I'm pursuing. So most of them are Batman villain fan films, but more recently, I've been doing just various superheroes from the DC mythos. Big DC fan. If this is your first video of mine you've ever watched, yeah, I'm a huge DC fan. But if you've watched anything I've made before, you probably know that already. As for YouTube, I have 3 series, one of which you're watching right now, Keeping It Keilan, and then the other 2 are you got Adventure Logs, which is just cool places I go and things I do, I vlog it, and you got Don't Worry, which is about mental and physical health. So the YouTube series are they're not like films. They're actually it takes a lot less time to produce those, and I'm able to put them out more quickly just so I can have kind of a steady stream of content on YouTube, because consistency, they say, is key. So this right here is the film equipment I use. Honestly, I am no professional. I recently filmed with Sean, a friend of mine who's been doing film longer than I have, and his setup is insane. But my setup is, it gets the job done for what I want to do. So the camera I'm filming on right now is my Canon EOS M50. The mic I'm using right now is a Rode VideoMic NTG. I also have a mic stand, which is what you're seeing here. I have a tripod, a blue tripod, which is very sturdy, very handy. That's what the camera is set up on currently. I have a GoPro Hero 7 Black. That's what I film my vlogs on. For the most part, I have filmed some vlogs on this camera, but if you've seen my Milwaukee vlog, that was filmed entirely on the GoPro. I have a green screen and a blue screen, which are super, super handy for certain films that I do. And then I have boom lights, which I mostly just use when doing green screen and blue screen. But basically, yeah, this is the equipment I use to make my movies. And then, I used to film everything on iPhone, and I still do occasionally use my iPhone for certain film things, but primarily it's all this stuff. So getting started in filmmaking. Technically I started making films on an iPod Touch using the iMovie mobile app, so real basic stuff. Every single shot was handheld, 0 film principles were actually used. I was basically just making goofy videos because I enjoyed it. And over the years, I continued making movies for fun. I didn't even publish the first, 100 or so videos that I made. But eventually I reached a place where I realized the quality of my films was actually above what the average person could do. So, what do you know? At that point, I decided to make my films into public releases. My honest belief is this: anyone can make movies, with any level of equipment or any level of expertise. You will learn as you go. You will discover your style. They will be terrible at first, most likely, but you will have a visual log of your improvement over time. So, honestly, I really do think anybody can make movies. I seriously did, like I said, over 100 videos, where I didn't even consider myself a filmmaker. I just was doing it for fun. And the more you do that, you're bound to learn. If you do something 100 times, you're going to learn. And so I just learned a lot about making movies, and I'm really happy with the progress I've made. Even looking at videos from a year ago, or honestly even a month ago, I see things that I've improved on since then. And that's the coolest thing, is you literally get to watch from start to finish, or really there's no finish, but from past to present, you get to watch your growth as a filmmaker. So here are some more questions that I asked my college class. How do you know when your art is ready to be publicly released? How do you know when people would actually pay for your art? How do you know when you're an artist and not just making art for fun? And which is more important, a good story and message or high quality production? So these are questions that I think probably every artist struggles with at some point. So my closing advice kind of addresses those questions a little bit. One of the best pieces of advice I got came from a comic book writer at a Comic-Con panel whose name I truly cannot recall, but he said, if you write comics, you're a comic book writer. You don't need DC or Marvel to hire you. You don't need to sell 1,000 copies of your comic. You don't even need a finished comic book. As soon as you start writing a script, you're a comic book writer. And I believe that applies to absolutely every kind of art. I consider myself a writer, poet, filmmaker, photographer, illustrator, designer, and comic book creator. Oh, and actor. My book has sold just over 10 copies. Again, that's outdated. I have sold a few more since then. But my photography needs a lot of work. My drawings are pale in comparison to most cartoonists I see on Instagram. And my comics have a long way to go before they'd be considered professional. But since I create those things, regardless of my income or production quality, I can say that I am a creator of those things. And that advice, actually, I was just reading a book by Kevin Smith this morning. And he was saying that the best advice he ever got came from his sister, and he said he wanted to be a filmmaker. And basically she said, just be a filmmaker. Don't want to be, just be. Even if you haven't made a film, just start looking at things as a filmmaker. Say I am a filmmaker, and just go about life that way. I mean, truly, like there's no level of quality you have to reach before you can consider yourself an artist. So just embody whatever kind of artist or creator you want to be. Just say you are that, and people will take you more seriously if you just say you're an artist. I'm not an aspiring artist. I'm not a artist in training. I'm just an artist, and I actually have a poem in my book that's about that topic as well. So might have to check that out. Every artist starts somewhere, but it is okay to present yourself and your work confidently, as I was saying, even if you have a long way to go. A true artist is never done learning. So find peace in the struggle. Find joy in the growth, and just be yourself, man. Just just do what you want to do. Say you are who you want to be, and keep making awesome stuff. So thank you so much for giving me this time. This was a thank you more so to Mika, my amazing college instructor professor, who also gave me a hand with the book to a degree. She helped me decide on what order the poems should go in. So thank you to her for giving me a platform to share this presentation. And thank you to all my viewers at the moment who are enjoying this presentation as well. I'm grateful to be able to share what I have created with fellow creators. I'm also always open to collaborations with anybody. This goes for students of my college class or you guys watching on YouTube. So let me know if you would like to make something together. Always down for that. And the coolest part of SAIC, that's my college, is getting to network with awesome artists and form connections. I'm lucky to be a part of this class, and I'm lucky to have you guys. Anybody who's watching this right now, I'm lucky to have you, and I hope that this presentation left some kind of an impact on you. So thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to Keilan Morrissey for more content about, this kind of thing, creative stuff, pop culture stuff, basically anything you saw in this presentation. Subscribe if you want to see more of that. So, yeah. Thank you, everybody. Have an awesome day.